Love giving cards to your family and friends? Well, these printable pre-designed calligraphy cards are for you. They are simple to use, beautiful to make, and such a personalized touch to those that you are gifting to. Can't wait for us to get down to this. So all you need to do are to print out these pre-designed calligraphy templates on A4 piece of paper. And because there are two designs on a A4 piece of paper, what we will be doing is we will be folding this into half and cutting it just at the center line. Now I designed this such that it's easy for you to print these cards on A4 watercolor papers and then cutting it into half. So for a total of 3 pages, you have 6 different designs that you will love to use. Blessed birthday! Thank you so much. Thinking of you, you make me smile. This is one that I commonly use. You make me smile. Home sweet home for those homes that you are invited to and want to be able to bring a card to write for them. And bless this home for housewarming. This is perfect, right? So when you print this out on watercolor paper, and I highly recommend for us to print on watercolor paper so that we are able to fill in the colors with watercolor paints, and it will make such a beautiful card. Now, many people ask me, what grammage do I use to print on my watercolor card? As heavy or as thick as you are able to. So for me, because I only have 150 GSM watercolor papers, these are the ones that I'll use. And in home printing, 150 or 180 GSM watercolor papers will be perfect, right? So I'm going to go ahead to cut all the papers and we will come back on. Alright, so I've cut all the 3 pieces of A4 papers into the 6 different designs that are of A5 size. And A5 size are perfect because you can easily buy beautiful envelopes that are of A5 size for you to be able to put in these cards for gifting. Now, what we get to do once we have all of our cards printed on A4 papers and cut out is we really just need a watercolor palette, any watercolor palette that you have on hand, a water brush for us to do watercoloring, and a Pentel brush sign pen. I love this pen and you hear me talk about this so often. And these are pre-designed calligraphy cards so that we are able to trace over these templates with a Pentel brush sign pen so that when you are gifting, there will be that calligraphy writing that is done by you. So let's start by tracing over the templates that are printed out with our Pentel brush sign pen. Whether you are right-handed or left-handed, hold it at where the line is. And remember the concepts of brush pen calligraphy, that all upstrokes are thin and all downstrokes are thick. Tracing over templates is truly a beautiful way to be able to practice brush pen calligraphy because the templates allow you to see where are the thick strokes, where are the thin strokes, and you get to also learn and practice how one letter connects to the other. So these calligraphy templates are for downloads. Go ahead to the link below and download these prints, and you can print it out on your home printer on watercolor papers and really just go ahead to make cards as and when you need. You don't ever need to buy Hallmark cards ever again. One of the misconceptions that people have is that in calligraphy, we don't lift our pen, but that is not true. You notice that I lift my brush pen ever so often because in brush pen calligraphy, we make it look like the letters are connected to each other, but we do have to lift our pens many times. I included a little cute flourish at the ascenders of the letter D, just so that it gives the calligraphy for this word a little fanciful touch. Blessed birthday. I'm a firm believer of gifting cards instead of texting, because when we write a card to someone, It truly is just such a tangible way to say, I see you, I feel you, and this is from my heart, written just for you. There's something about the tactile writing, there's something about the beautiful strokes, there's something about seeing your handwriting written for someone. And if you have received a card before, it really speaks volumes compared to receiving a text message, because writing conveys a lot more heart. And I wish that the world will be able to have so much more positive words being written, being said, being gifted, being heard. And I will hope for you to be the change that you want to see. Why with the descender? A long flourish. And in my CGC, I always talk about how when we do long flourishes, we do a gliding of the hand rather than a pivoting. It really helps. Right? I will go ahead to write all the other calligraphy template words as well. Thank you. We always do the long stroke first before we do the crossbar. And this is really because when we do the crossbar could actually be a flourish, or it could lead on to something else. So the crossbars are always done after you have done the strokes of the T, always. Right? A is written with the oval in connection with the underturn. So if you are starting brush pen calligraphy for the very, very first time, do watch the first video that I talked through the basic strokes of all calligraphy, so that you are able to understand and see how lowercase letters are really a combination of basic strokes. And really just by knowing how to write the basic strokes will give you such a good foundations to practicing writing lowercase letters well. O in connection with the exit stroke of your Y, and exit stroke of O leads on to the entrance stroke of U. Thank you very much is a card that I use very, very often as well, because it conveys a thank you that is so nicely conveyed when it's written on a card. I really just wanted to ask you, when was the last time you received a physical card from someone? And how does it make you feel? And also, when was the last time that you wrote a card to someone else? If it has been a long time, I hope that this will inspire you to write more for your friends, your family. And truly may this be a beautiful, mindful way to tell someone that you love that, hey, I see you, thinking of you. Also, the dots of I's and J's are short downstrokes. They are not perfect circles. They are truly short downstrokes. Writing calligraphy is such a mindful way to pause, to think about the person whom we are writing to, and slow down. You know, in this fast-paced world, we don't often get white space or empty space, or really just space and time to just pause and write. And calligraphy is a form of mindful, intentional writing. And when we are able to give ourselves the permission to write and give ourselves the permission to slow down, you will find yourself pausing a lot more, thinking a lot more, and really just appreciating the time that we have a little more. You make me smile. I really, 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 really love this. It gives me so much joy to be able to give a card to someone who really makes me smile. And recently, When I was checking out from a hotel, I was so surprised that my son wrote, both my sons each wrote a thank you card to the hotel staff who actually, cleans our room, the housekeeping staff. And yes, it has always been my simple way of saying thank you, that before we check out any hotel, I will write them a very simple thank you card. And this time, when I was about to write the thank you card, I saw that my sons have already written one each for the housekeeping staff, and it really made me smile, that these little things that we never thought they would pick up, they do pick up, and they role model what we do on a daily basis, even though we don't teach them. I didn't tell them to write a card, they saw that I have pens and they saw that I have paper, and they really just wrote it, and it makes me smile that they did this out of their own heart, and they did this out of their own accord without me even telling them. I love that. Home sweet home. Now I know even when I was designing this card, I really wanted a very soothing palette at the background, something that you can simply paint or something that you can simply fill in with the colors that you know you love. And so this simple line art illustration is really meant to be a simple card just for you to be able to fill in the colors. And I can't wait for you to fill in these colors with your own. They are going to be so beautiful, and it really makes your card so personal and so personalized for the person that you are gifting to. It's really quick and easy for us to print this and trace over with your Pentel Brusline pen. So fuss-free, so easy, and that's why people really always tell me that they love these calligraphy templates, because it makes gifting calligraphy cards and gifting words and gifting simple messages so easy and so personalized. And I truly can't wait for you to do this as well, because it is so much joy to be able to write, to be able to gift, to be able to convey your heartfelt messages in a way that speaks to the heart of the someone that you are gifting to. Done! And we will be coloring these pieces.